year.
And then next year.
It's next year, so.
Yeah,
have
just
they-
like that.
Is there, is there a
I haven't
cleanup
seen
day
anything.
planned?
I haven't
They were
seen
they were collecting at a town meeting,
They were.
weren't they?
That have the flashing your speed on it now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, we do.
Yes.
Oh, Did you want, we've got some folks who I think are waiting to hear the conversation. Did you want to open us up?
Sure.
Um, So I'll need that book back when you,
I've
have
signed.
you
the
signed
one-
them? Yep.
I haven't signed tonight's, but I will just sign it quickly, because I didn't see any changes for minutes for tonight.
Yeah, those,
Line 17.
well, I wasn't doing tonight's, I was gonna take changes.
okay.
No, we can take changes. The signs are for the other two. There's two other
I
additions.
signed mine and Mike needs to sign the other.
Okay, yep. So, and then what did you have for, a change?
17 is one that the sentence doesn't make sense. Chair Stevenson opened the hearing for the proposed former Helen and Tink Marsh Estate at 93 Chellis Road, parentheses, will be divided. That will be divided into 2 lots. You need a that in there after the parentheses.
What line item? What line?
It's on 17.
That will be divided into two, yes, got it, okay.
But that was the only thing that I didn't see.
Okay.
So are we in session? We're
Sure.
open, minutes are approved?
Yeah.
Somebody's,
I make a motion they be approved as amended. Second, all those in favor? Aye.
okay, so before we did master plan work, Chris, you had something you wanted to go by, and is it Mark and Tina Overman, or is that who's here
Yeah.
for the minutes? You're muted if you're trying to answer.
Hello?
I did, I did email Mark and said that I
Well,
would.
now I'm concerned they can't hear us. Can you hear us okay, Mark? If you can unmute yourself on Zoom. I don't get the impression that they can hear us. Should I call
Can we do this?
them? I guess I better call
Okay.
them. If they're struggling in some way, we should know.
Yep. I looked over those 2 chapters. It's like, no, I'm not looking at these any more than I have to.
Yeah, I looked them over this afternoon, and I was kind of like.
Yeah.
Floored by some of the. But there was still some stuff that talked about, but Steve called her and talked with her, and she said the tables are all up to date, but
But they're not
The-
labeled as such,
the
so,
language. About the old surveys just needs to come out, and we need to, she wants us to put the language in reflecting the surveys. the
Yeah.
recent Surveys.
that makes sense.
The tables are all up to date. Although some of the tables are not labeled correctly. I mean,
Right.
they should say, you know,
They need to say that, like, there was one about in the economic chapter, there was one of the charts that was having to do with household income. That it didn't say what year that data was
Right,
coming from.
correct, correct.
And
Oh,
then
they
the
just-
first chapter. Oh, there we go. Well, you need to admit them. Thank you, Ross. That first paragraph in the economic chapter, it's like, that sounds like it should be the introduction for the master plan, not the economic chapter. It was
Okay,
it was in
well-
italic rather than in regular
Right,
font,
correct.
and I don't know why that paragraph was
Well,
there.
we'll talk about that.
Okay, so they say they can hear us just fine.
Oh, okay.
Can we hear you? Mark, can you say something?
Yeah, well, he said they tried to go out to take the mute off and got booted out of the meeting, but I think they're still here. But he said he can hear, so I think
Well,
we should,
Ross readmitted them.
okay, so then I think we should just move on. He said he
Okay.
can hear.
Okay. So, yeah, go ahead.
What you got?
Chris Rollins, representing the Community Baptist Church in Plainfield. They would like to try to convey the parsonage away from the parsonage church lot in Plainfield.
So
And
separate the parsonage from the church?
from the church.
Okay.
And I've been trying to, there are a myriad of regulations that come into play here from the town and the state, and so I'm trying to jostle them to come up with a solution. And I just had a question that will influence my state talks. The question for the planning board. On the left side here, you'll see what the existing situation is. Somewhat anyway. The dark lines represent the two deeds that make up the property, originally made up the property. The little rectangle around the church was the original lot, 1847 or something like that. And then this larger L-shaped property was added for a parsonage later on, maybe 10 years later. And it was originally added as a 999-year lease. But George Westcott, who did that, died, and his wife decided to reconvey it as a fee title. So we don't have to worry about a 1,000-year lease. We've got the title for both lots. So, but someplace along the way, as usually happens, the two lots have been merged, combined, and they're taxed as one parcel now. I show them because maybe the planning board will go easy on this, but because they were two at one time. And they're deeded to two different entities. You know, as churches go, they frequently change names as they
Mhm.
go along. So one is deeded to proprietors of this, and the other is deeded to the Western Plainfield, this and that, church. And so there is sort of a separation in the registry of deeds. So I've been trying, in some of the things I have to balance are similar to they were for the Jewel project. We've got square footage, we've got the state requiring a 20,000 square foot contiguous receiving layer for each lot. Because these don't have, these have public water, which is good. It allows for a smaller lot, but they don't have public sewer. So I have to set aside a contiguous 20,000 square feet for each lot, and a 4,000 square foot sewage site. And so all of these things, and then come into play. The real tough one here is the lot shape factor. And that's my main question for being here. you'll notice that there is a little rectangle in the middle of this whole thing. This is a septic, leach field that was was allowed to be constructed there for the gun store or
Mhm. Yeah.
the country store.
Mhm.
It actually probably goes back to Capel, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When Capel had the restaurant in there.
So that's there, and of course, we have the,
Can we get this blown up?
Yeah.
Can we get it blown up on the screen?
I don't have it on the screen, I just got it tonight.
Oh, okay.
yeah, I could have, but I didn't think I
Yeah, no, I'm just,
wanted to
yeah,
get you guys too involved with it.
okay, okay.
Would the process that you're trying to be involved in be easier if we recognize the two lots?
Yeah, I think it may be, because then I could say we're just doing a lot, it may or may not, we're just doing a lot line adjustment. You see, that gets us, I don't know if it gets us anywhere, because the state is still gonna come in. And you're still gonna want the lot shape factors, you see, this, everything, if you look on the right side. These dark lines, it shows kind of a weird looking.
Right, you could never do that, that would be, I mean, I think Barry Schuster had weighed on this a while back and said. If this was deemed as something that was reasonable to do,
Mhm.
then. Instead of confluting some lot that conforms, just. Ignore the shape factor, get the planning board to waive it because
Yeah.
it's the church.
Yeah.
Or whatever, because in the end, you don't want a lot that is just not usable, right? That has some really odd pieces to it.
Well,
But
this,
having to have that 20,000 feet of contiguous
Mhm.
is what this foot over here that's what that is?
that's what that is, that's an open field.
Right,
And
but
that,
that's why you need that for
that's correct.
for this lot 6-1.
Or
Yeah.
what other choices do you have?
I don't have much of a choice
I mean, you
here.
can't do a lot like that, Chris, that's an ugly lot, I mean, that.
Well, look,
We,
now,
It
now,
looks like you've got a
Now-
dog trail going down the back.
Why would this field be attached to the parsonage?
because they have to have another place for their septic.
they have to have a place for septic. And there has to be a 20,000 square feet of contiguous soil. To receive the effluent from a 600 gallon a day house. That. Now, I haven't talked with the state yet. I wanted to get the board's opinion on this. This,
So, but at this point, they are all using the same existing septic.
no,
The house,
you can't see all these little septics in there, but there is the parsonage and the church sort of combined into one merging septic that,
Was that the circle?
yeah, that's that circle on that line, boundary line.
okay,
That they sort of use the same septic area. They have different tanks, their own tanks. But they use that area and it's a good, very permeable soil, as you might imagine. It's all sand and so it doesn't,
that's under the parking lot.
yeah, there's a little brushy area around where the field is, but it's probably like a chamber or the old fashioned, what do they call them?
The cistern?
Yeah, a bottomless chamber that just lets it go, you know,
Cesspit.
A dry well?
a dry well,
I think
probably
that's the
dry
technical
well.
term.
It could be a dry well. But it takes, you know, the churches, it gets such little use
Right,
and it's once a week. and
right,
that sort of
right,
thing.
I get,
So,
yeah.
But of course, the parsonage has the capacity to be a regular home. It probably is, so. And it may be able to continue there for a long time, but. We need to show the state that there is an option.
There's a backup plan.
And I would just as soon not have that connected with that long appendage, but if the state. If the state says, okay, you don't need to connect it, then that's fine. But otherwise, you have to wait for the piping to get out there, if you need it.
But it is possible that, tell me what happens if the town goes back to the two original lots. And just says, those are your lots, that's what you got. You can keep the church on its lot and you can sell the other, and you'll have to
Well-
do an easement with the Corey Tabor Field if you wanna keep it open.
That's, that's a possibility, you see, the church, yeah, the church can, deed itself could create if they sell, to the parsonage, they could say, okay, reserving the right to establish a septic system in the back part of the field in this section, if indeed it's needed.
That means that the church could grant an easement.
Right, I think the
That-
fly in the ointment,
Doesn't that seem more rational?
I think the fly in the ointment for them is that the Corey Tabor Park would now be on the land of the parsonage.
Yeah,
And so that would be done through a deed. I mean, there is just the possibility that this is a bad idea, right? That the two need to be together, right? The church and the parsonage need to be together. But I think your stronger argument is to say, because there was this whole thing about towns not merging lots together.
Mhm,
okay.
yeah,
It was in the town report for a number of years by statute.
yeah,
I mean, so the church could make the argument, sounds like you could help them make the argument.
Mhm.
We have two separate lots. We have the
Yeah.
church and we have the parsonage lot. And the parsonage lot, we're gonna sell with whatever easements we need to keep for ourselves, parking, whatever they need to do.
yeah,
But that doesn't involve the planning board at all,
Right.
right? You just sell
yeah.
them. And you're done.
Mhm.
I think in many ways, that's cleaner because there is this notion that towns incorrectly merge non-conforming lots together.
Yeah,
And so that's a fairly easy one. It may not give the church what they want because they're. It means whoever buys the parsonage gets a community park on their land.
yeah.
But it is,
Well, and they don't want that. I mean, they don't want to give up the rights to the Corey Tabor Field is.
but the way to do that is to retain both. Right? Just not
Yeah,
sell,
okay.
just not sell.
Okay,
Right.
I know that is true, but looking at the economics of the situation, I think that this is being looked at as a possibility, because I don't think that the church can support the parsonage any longer.
Right,
The
well,
maintenance and,
I mean, I've heard it's not really a planning board issue, I guess, but I've heard varying stories as to whether it's a need to fix the steeple. Or it's a need, or that the parsonage building costs too much money. But again, we're blind to that, it doesn't matter. But I don't think we can create a lot that we would not let anyone else have.
Right.
And that is one weird looking lot.
no, I don't like, I understand the reasoning for this, the creation of this shape. But I can't in good conscience go along with that shape lot.
So the parsonage can't achieve its 20,000 as an easement. In other words.
That's something that you can look at this second one here.
Oh, good.
Oh, there's another one? Okay.
But this sort of expresses what you just said. But,
So this one, just has the parsonage on its own lot with the deed stipulating an easement in the back for the parsonage
yeah,
to have an alternative site for,
correct, yeah. And so,
And that lot is still just a little undersized, but that was another one that Barry said, way better to have a clean lot than a lot that has,
yeah.
yeah,
even if it's, because there's lots of undersized lots in the village.
So, what I'm seeing here, Chris, is that you showed us the one that you know we're not gonna want. So that when we look at this one, we're gonna be more agreeable.
well, you see, it's a double-headed sword here.
I'm busting your
Because-
chops, Chris, I'm sorry.
Because you see, the one I showed you first, the state is likely to approve, the
Yeah.
shape you don't like.
Yeah.
because the numbers meet
Right.
the state. The one I just showed you, it looks nicer, it seems more logical. But the state has got to be able to say that easement area in the back for the septic can count towards the square footage of that parsonage lot, because that parsonage lot is not big enough for state standards. State wants at least 20,000.
Okay,
It's shown as 16,000, what I showed that
Okay.
rectangle.
yeah,
But what if we went back to the original two lots? And you just say to the state, well, again, that creates some problems for the church, I get it. But at that point, the church needs an easement for its septic. But not the parsonage, it owns its own land and happens to own a Corey Tabor field with it.
No, but they don't wanna do that, Steve. I mean, the
Yeah.
church does not wanna give up
The
the Corey
church
Tabor
doesn't
field.
wanna
I mean,
give
that's
up
what
the-
I've understood.
Well, but
they
it's not a
can't.
matter of what you wanna do,
No,
it's
but
what's
no,
possible,
but I mean,
right?
they don't,
Yeah, I understand it's not their preferred method, but it's just,
they're not gonna, I don't think that's acceptable. I mean, I don't know, but
I
I'm not,
mean-
but they wanna keep the Corey Tabor field attached to the church.
this makes sense to me.
Yeah,
I mean.
it does to me.
That,
Yeah, it does to me too, because there's already an easement for the neighbor,
right,
and that didn't cause a problem.
And if that's
So-
acceptable.
So, and.
but you're saying the state has to grant subdivision approval, which they might not.
Yeah, now Wayne McCutcheon offered to help with this, and he goes by the state officers frequently, so he's offered to bring it to meet with someone down there, so. I haven't shown him this yet, but, the state, if the state said, yeah, we'll
accept the easement,
accept that, and especially, if the planning board would rather see that, and the planning board had a little note saying that would be, but anyway, we
you
don't.
gotta talk to Jane about that, she's the
So
chairperson.
I can't really read the small print here.
Yeah.
On this lot 6-1, you're saying it's 0.37 acres, 16,000 square feet.
Yep,
And what's the next number? 24?
20,000, which
Is
would be
what?
that rectangle easement right at the end there.
That's just an easement. Yeah,
Just an
it's
easement,
not
yeah,
part of the property. It's
yeah.
just-
We could make it part of the property, but it'd be disconnected, it would be like,
No, it should not be this. It's crazy.
I didn't think that would fly, but,
No, it's not like-
yeah, it's,
So you don't know the answer on the easement yet, you haven't tested it.
I don't know, I may be able
Yeah,
to,
but you have the precedent of the armory easement. For
But they weren't subdivided, their lot was existing, they needed a pooper. And the closest place was the Corey Tabor field, and they could get an easement. Here, he's got to go to the state, and the state says. And even, do you have to go to the state for annexation?
yeah.
You do,
Well, it depends, if the annexation land is necessary for sewage loading, yes, you do.
right, so right now, the state would say, you have what you need. You have a lot that has the frontage connected. By subdividing it, you've created this need for an easement. And we might or might not like that.
It's possible.
Right.
But, they just changed they just rewrote the regulations down there.
God.
So it just came out, a couple months ago and,
Probably didn't get easier.
well, I don't know, it's, yeah. The same formulas I've used for 50 years suddenly changed.
Mm.
And it changed right in the middle of Jules' job.
Right.
And I had to recalculate and send down, and get it through, but it was, the previous calculation was logical, and I could follow it through logic. But it was all to do with soil loading by soil type, square footage of soil type. And that was a spreadsheet, I had a nice spreadsheet, would do that, and then they changed it so that you would just take the soil type of the of the test pit area, and you would call that soil everywhere, say that was everywhere. And it's not. I mean, you've got some
Yeah.
swamp over here, and you've got some, and so to me, they went backwards a little
Yeah.
bit, so,
Right.
oh, well, who knows what the reason was for that, but. So. So, you know, so a lot shape factor of 67 wouldn't.
But, no,
That-
which,
Right.
which lot are you talking about? You're
He's
talking about
talking
lot
about
six?
the one with the 2 feet.
No, that, no.
No, I just want to tell you, I figured the lot shape factors of several of a dozen or so lots within a half mile of this, and there's a lot of them that are between 40 and 50.
I think you gotta get off that one, Chris. That one ain't going.
Okay.
I mean, I think the town would easily be willing to return to the original 2 deeds. You
Okay.
show us 2 different deeds.
Yeah.
And those are and our lots, our maps can reflect those deeds.
Yeah.
And if that helps the church meet their goals, that's easy to do, because that doesn't require anything other than recognizing what probably the facts are,
Yeah,
right, that they bought. They
So
were-
when were the lots merged? Do we know?
So, no.
I don't think anyone
Yeah, I think.
has really tried to.
We
do
have
that.
not done, I mean, I know we haven't done it since '89, but it was sometime, you know, I think you could look at the oldest tax maps, the original Al Eichler tax maps, and see how he treated the 2. But I'm guessing it's been that way for many, many years. But if there are in fact 2 deeds, particularly 2 deeds to 2 different entities,
Yeah,
then, you know, the town would have to give on that and say,
Right.
you know, it may create other issues. It means the church is on a little tiny lot and the house is on a bigger lot.
yeah,
And then the church wouldn't have, doing that, the church would not have that 20,000. We'd still have to be dealing with getting an easement.
Well, but it would be a
because the
case
church-
of, it would be the same as the store then. No subdivision needed. Now, now
Okay.
state, I've got this church
yeah,
that has no pooper. And we
Yeah.
Okay.
gotta put a new system in.
yeah,
And so that's,
Well,
different.
I mean, the parsonage has a system. It has a functioning system.
right,
They just
both-
want to be sure that there's potential for, if
A
that system
secondary that
fails.
breaks down.
So if you sold the parsonage with this big original L-shaped lot, you would just say reserving its 20,000 square foot area for
Yeah,
septic
that's-
purposes for the church,
right.
point blank.
Right, and I think you would
Yeah.
include language in there that made it clear that for the next 1,000 years or whatever it
Yeah.
is, that the Plainfield Church was responsible for and had access to the Corey Tabor Field as
Yeah.
a public, controlled the Corey. I mean,
Yeah.
attorneys could write that language. It may make the parsonage very much less desirable for a buyer,
Yeah,
but it gets them the end
I
they're
don't
after.
know, it gets them
Yeah.
a better price.
but they may like it, they
They
may
get a
like to
bigger
play
yard.
basketball.
Yeah, they get a bigger yard.
Right.
I mean, practically speaking, it's no different. It
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, you live in the house, the park is right there
Yeah.
and the church is there. But but I think that is all done, you never in front of the planning board under that solution. You do it with lawyers,
Okay, yeah,
right, in easements.
planning was cheaper probably than.
Well, but I mean, if you can find, you've got the original deed.
Yes.
You've got the 2 original
Yeah.
deeds, so
Oh, yeah.
that's really,
Mhm.
the key is just saying we're gonna revert to the original.
Yeah.
These are two separate parcels that were merged at some
Mm-hmm.
point, and we're gonna revert to the original.
Yeah.
Deeds.
Which there is precedent for landowners being allowed to do.
Mhm.
Right, the law, but again. That may not be what the fathers of the church wanna do, they
Yeah.
wanna, and, you know. Then I think if that's. If that doesn't meet their needs and they still wanna move forward with the project, then you have to go
Mhm.
beg the state. And see if you
Yeah.
can get that easement to
Yeah.
count,
Mhm.
and if they say no, then you have to come back and beg for the shape factor,
Yeah.
right? Cause there's no other way to do it,
Bring
right?
cheesecake,
No, I think the shape factors,
yeah, that shapes more than.
yeah, so,
But you know, this shape factor business, you know, nobody can drive down the road and say, oh, look at that shape factor.
Right,
Oh, that's horrible.
It's, they're invisible, you see.
But I'll tell you, anyone wanting to
Yeah.
buy that parsonage down the road, looking at the shape of this lot is gonna say, who was drunk and how drunk were they?
Yeah, I know.
Well, I mean, it's gonna get to an issue of.
Yeah.
Sometime down the road. If they decide to do this, the person who owns the parsonage will not have an affiliation with the church. That's just gonna happen.
Yeah,
And then they're gonna wanna know how they get down to their back field while they get there through that little pathway or whatever that is. I mean, it's not a great lot if they get separated. It
That's
doesn't matter at all
Yeah.
if they're all one together. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we get that.
mhm,
But it's,
yep.
no, and I appreciate what you're trying to do, Chris. You're trying to work, you know,
Yeah,
it's
you're
a
trying to thread the
puzzle with
needle.
not very good outcomes. I mean, there's just.
Well, it's not as easy as it looks like it should be, but, you know, either get the Corey field that needs respect and to continue, and we don't wanna hurt that.
Well, and if people would stop going to the bathroom, it wouldn't be a problem.
The hell is that?
If you don't need a septic system, then all of these problems
That's-
disappear.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, we can
Not likely to happen, but you know,
plant a few more trees back there, so.
well, it seems like the simplest thing, instead of getting, I mean, if you've got the deeds and you wanna do lawyers,
Yeah.
that's one thing, but that's gonna cost the church money, and
mhm,
the simplest thing, I think, would be to first go to the state and say, would they accept an easement?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
I
and it,
can,
and
I
if,
can
if
talk-
they say no, then you go to the, you know, have
Yeah.
to do the lawyer's drop.
yeah, I can call the state and.
I would check that before paying lawyers. money.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Cause in the long run, this, for the person buying this parsonage, this is a better situation. Rather than having a situation where, you know, yes, they own this property, but for all practical purposes, they own a piece of public land.
Mhm,
You know, they don't have complete control over what happens here,
yeah,
even though they own it.
yeah.
At least
So,
here,
yeah,
I
this
mean,
is-
in
this
this
would be
one,
cleaner,
they don't own it, so,
Right.
you know, you can't control
they're
something you
just,
don't
they're
own.
just abutters to it.
I
Yeah.
agree with that, yeah, I wouldn't want to.
All right, well,
So. If we,
Yeah, if the state's okay with giving them, if they have an easement for the back of that.
yeah, it would be better that way than the original, but we can fall back on the original.
Yes.
lot.
Right, I think.
yeah,
It would be good, well, that won't matter. So, I was gonna say, if you decided in the next month. We could get it incorporated into the tax maps, cause we update the tax maps this time of the year. But if you don't, it'll just get updated into next year's tax maps.
I think it's next year will be when it happens.
Right, right.
okay. Just purely by chance, recently, we found, maybe I already told you this, that someone donated, where did it come from? I don't remember. Just bad, but anyway, it was the minutes of the church secretary that were from the 1837, when they bought the land.
Oh,
And the impressive part was that they had decided in September to explore the idea. They decided they weren't gonna fix up the old church because it was not worth fixing. And they just explored the idea of buying property in the village to build a new church. And they started the discussion in September and appointed a committee. And the committee reported back in like 3 weeks, and they had found someone willing to sell them this
Mhm.
lot in the village.
Yeah.
And then that was like in December, the lot was bought, and then they had a building committee. And the church was built by the following September. So I mean.
bricks, by bricks that were made, I think.
Right down on the plane, yeah,
Yeah.
right, yeah. down-
So where was the original?
Well, I'm not entirely sure where it was.
Now,
The
the
original, yeah, I don't know where it was.
Grange was a church at one time.
Yes, yeah, they were competing. They
Yeah,
were
okay.
both built within a year of each
Yeah.
other.
But,
But anyway, so these are the original notes,
yeah,
dutifully to the secretary with beautiful hand. And you follow it along, and it's like 9 months or a year that it took them from the
wow,
time they started talking about it. Now, if it's time to start talking about it, be a year and you still would be talking about it.
Some of those notes
And
that
they
Sarah
had
gave, she became secretary,
Oh,
What?
Mark
those
was,
documents that they just received copies of the church, back in the church notes back in 1837.
Alright.
I can't hear you. I can't understand it.
Mark,
I
we
think
couldn't
he's
make
talking.
out what you were
He's talking.
saying.
But mic's open.
Yeah, I think he's talking.
Oh, okay, sorry, I couldn't understand what you're saying, Mark. But anyway,
Okay, yeah, that's quite a coincidence,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, so,
well, you
Good
go.
luck.
okay,
Geez, I thought Jewel was a tough one for you. This one's tough.
this one isn't gonna be bad.
This will keep you on your toes.
All right,
Okay, thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
thank you for entertaining me.
Okay,
That's what we do, Chris.
That's some snazzy signature you got there, Steve.
That is one. So do we wanna go to master plan?
master plan,
That'll be good fun, won't it? Let me see. I'm gonna minimize this for a minute. Maybe I can't.
You cannot.
No, I can't. I can open this up. So where are we, which one do you wanna do first? Economic base or population?
let's do population.
Okay, and what we discovered today with a conversation with Jane is that the. Let's find my stuff here. Maybe it's open. Thought I had it. Yes, it didn't. The charts are all updated, the text is not. Just put some. So. Was it housing? Which were the two we were signed up for tonight?
Economic development, population and housing.
Right, well, the populations are returned from previous edits, right? The
Right.
two we were gonna do tonight is economic, basically, because they got the most recent.
I did
Yeah.
have something I could, something I could put in the population though.
Okay.
If you
I
can get.
thought
it
we
up
were
there.
close to done with that, but
No,
maybe
no,
we're
no,
not.
it's just one little edit.
Okay,
I don't see it then.
well, we have it.
You can't change it because it's not there.
Yeah, well, it's
No, I
just a
didn't.
missing number and I calculated the number and,
Tell me where it is and I will put it in the Word doc.
okay.
So it,
So on the bottom of page 2,
yeah.
they have a thing where they talk about the percentage of Plainfield's percentage of Sullivan County population. And they
Okay,
have these numbers that go like 4.6, 5. Anyway, they didn't have the current 2020 percentage,
okay,
and the percentage is 5.6.
that's 2020 and it's 5.6%.
Yeah, so on the graph, it showed all of that, but didn't show the percentage. So that's
Right.
just a simple number, just to type in that.
Yep, yeah, no, we'll do that. We'll do that. 5.6. Okay. And so you want to do economic base?
Yes,
Well,
that's the one that we need to.
so she would say. That the charts are all updated.
Okay, but there's no different, on that income characteristics, is that 2020?
Right, it's weird because,
It
It
doesn't
doesn't say the
say,
year that
it
it's.
doesn't say the year,
right. I agree.
so. I just want to be sure it's,
When I talked to her after I called you and then she said that those are all up to date.
okay, so,
So, but the title needs to say that or something.
yes.
Well, it needs the year of the information, because otherwise it's meaningless, because it makes it look like it's 1999 information.
Just trying to get there.
Yeah, so look at the top, yeah, so if you can you blow it up a little bit?
Geez, Jane, it's about what
I
I
don't know, I
got.
mean, they say my eyes are fine, but I mean, really, okay. So, go up and read the data. As chart 4-1 shows, between 1979 and 1999 rose faster than that for Sullivan County and the state as a whole. Then it's 1999 median income. See, it doesn't have anything. 2020.
Right.
So what is this graph? And I don't know whether we need to have what the median
Well,
income was.
Right, well, we need some
19
titles or something to
We
tell
need
us.
titles and we need to, that paragraph above it to reflect.
Right, what she's saying
Is that
is,
we're supposed to change.
we're
that.
supposed to do that, but we would need to know what this data was.
Correct, and
to
is
do
that from census data? Is that the?
Right,
Yeah,
so we need titles and sources for that data,
correct,
and that'll make figuring that paragraph out pretty easy,
hopefully.
once we
yes.
had that.
I would expect so, yeah.
Once-
And, and again, we need the median family income for 2020.
Right, and I think she would say you have it there, we just don't know we have to interpret the bar, right, which she
Right.
should be able to tell us that.
Yes, so
Yes.
one is the median income and one is the mean income. And I'm not sure why she is putting those two different averages into a graph.
Well, I don't,
Because for someone who is not educated in the difference between a median average and a mean average, that's not gonna make sense. Cause it's
Yeah.
not your standard average where you take all of the income and divide it by the number of people.
right,
Neither one of those numbers represent what lay people consider an average.
So are you suggesting take one of the bars away?
I'm saying that it doesn't make sense unless we give an explanation of what a median
yeah,
average is and a mean average is. And do we want to do that? I mean, maybe we do,
one quick, one sentence for each.
but yeah. Cause I forget which one is which, but one of them is they put, well, that's just
That
it.
means what you think an average is.
Well,
And
I
then,
know one of them is you line up all of the totals.
Yeah.
And the number of the totals, and the one that's in the middle,
that's the median.
that's the median.
So-
That's why I'm saying it's not, they're not what,
Deaf.
but the mean income, you're saying is the one that most people consider.
And that's why the mean's
Yeah.
higher, because you might have one billionaire that lives in town
That
and they
pushes it.
screws
That
up all the
skews it.
statistics.
Correct,
Okay,
And
Correct.
the median's just it gets
So-
you closer to what you think it
But
should
it's a
be.
stupid chart, cause it doesn't tell you anything, it doesn't tell you what the source is or what it is.
correct.
correct.
Okay. We're really not getting very good work.
Um,
Okay, so, well, we'll
Okay.
work through that.
we'll work through that.
Whatever that needs to be. we can-
Okay, and then going further down, again,
It's a similar
it's a
issue.
similar issue. And I thought that at one point I had seen a chart that showed, 300. You've got this, it ends at 150K, but I thought that at one point we had something that said over
Yes,
that,
it says 150K plus. Scroll down a little bit, Steve.
yeah,
It says 150K plus. So
Yeah.
it's like anyone over 150,000.
But you would need a date on this, right?
Yes.
You would need Plainfield household income 2020, whatever.
right, yeah,
So here we need a date.
And so I want to share at
So
this
in-
point that.
just add like, Plainfield household income distribution in 2020.
Right, just the
Or
date.
2025,
Yeah.
just the date.
Yes, easy
So-
to do, but why wouldn't, yes, easy to do.
I've had a couple of the department heads get back to me with their stuff.
Uh-huh.
So I've been putting that,
In,
not everything that they say, but I've been incorporating what they've said into that.
okay,
Having said that, I don't mind working on doing the paragraphs for this chapter.
okay. Well, that'd be
Because
great.
the facilities chapter there's not that much left to do on that.
Okay,
So
So,
once I get you the data, I'll send it over.
yes. I can, cause gardening I'm not gonna be starting gardening this week.
You think? It's gonna be, might be white tomorrow morning.
Next
Um,
week, maybe.
And I guess another question is there a spot where there is a number for more than? I vaguely remember seeing a number that was like,
You wanna add another column, like over 200,000?
or over 300,000 or over 500,000.
Okay,
I guess I think there was. I remember.
there's
seeing-
no one between 10,000 and 14 or 15,000. Nobody makes that count.
Okay, well,
You either are below 10,000 or you make 15.
you are.
It's
And
also
see-
weird how
see-
the steps go from 5,000 to 10 times that, 50,000. Like I feel like it's sort of, by not keeping any kind of consistency with the ranges.
yeah,
You know, it's 5-year increment or $5,000 increments, then it's $10,000, then it's 25, then it's 50. Like you're artificially showing it, 'cause I think you're grabbing what you're casting a wider net, the higher the money goes.
Yes,
So I feel like that's kind of,
right.
I don't know.
Well, it's because
So.
I do think there's data that goes higher than that. That's like, because I have seen it. I saw it.
but do we want the first column to be like, have them start at the poverty level? Like what we
Well,
would consider poverty?
Well, I think
level?
with brother.
There's a whole nother chart about poverty.
Okay, but as far as the incomes are concerned, as far as to make it so that this room is still, this graph is still a manageable size, adding the extra columns that you wanna add.
Right. If
If we put, like, everyone below 20,000 goes
One-
into the first column,
below 20,000, yeah.
right? So 0
I mean,
to
she is
20,000
going
is
up.
the first column.
What is she doing? She switched at some point, right? Cause she's going 5, 5, 5.
Then she go jump on,
10,
and
10.
when she gets to 25, she
Or
gets up,
50.
she goes to 10.
Right, so she should make it
And
consistent
then
at the
she goes to
bottom.
15, and then she goes to 25. And
Yeah,
then she
and I would
goes-
just ask her if there's another potential column there, because I believe
Less,
we've seen that.
Okay.
or even if the columns get made skinnier, so there's room for another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all the language needs to come out and, we needs to have the current survey results
Yeah.
plugged in there.
What am I on here? Is that another one that comes up? Or did I rotate back to where I started? No, here it is.
That's-
Mean house income as shown on chart 4
And this one, okay,
has grown dramatically.
This next one is supposed to show the change in the last 5 years. The next chart,
the next chart.
This
lower.
chart?
No, below, keep
Yeah,
going
and
down.
What's this one supposed to show?
that's the family income distribution,
Mean household distribution.
yeah.
what was the one we were just looking at?
Right.
What's the difference?
Yeah, look, yeah, go above.
Plainfield household income distribution, there is no difference, it's supposedly the same
Well, I
thing.
don't know. Look at
It
the,
doesn't look the same, but it's
Well, 'cause
titled
she's
as the
bunched them
same.
differently.
Family.
Yeah, cause she's got it at less than 10,000. Instead of having up to 5,000, then up to 10,000. It's
It's
organized,
just grouping it
yeah,
differently.
she's grouping it differently.
So I'm gonna ask
But
you
it's
what
the
the,
same. It's just.
do we need them both?
No,
no,
No. So which one do you like better?
I think I like this one better.
Yeah.
With consistent,
it's still, I still think it's misleading, cause it looks like you got some kind of exponential growth in like.
Yeah.
right, and she's widening the gap that she's picking up in each bar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's.
So we like this one better, but consistent units on the bottom.
Yeah,
yeah, and just make the bars skinnier. They don't have to be that wide.
It's okay, and again, it's a date.
Yeah, there's no date.
And a source, weren't we taught that in high school?
Well, she did, above she talked about the ACS data, I think.
Yeah,
If you go-
the next
But every
chart
chart's supposed to have a title and a source.
Yes, otherwise it's meaningless. Well, I shouldn't say it's meaningless. It doesn't have the integrity that it needs to have in a master.
So I guess here she gave us the data.
Wait, is this is the percentage of house? Does this add up to like 100% of houses? It's not the chart before it was the number of houses. This is what percentage of the town's
Oh,
population.
okay, I didn't notice that, good
So
catch.
this is percentage. So again, the title would help, but where, does it say title? Percentage
Go
anywhere?
up a little bit.
It
Because
says it on the
family
side.
income,
Distribution.
I had my eyes dilated today. I can't see
Oh,
anything.
okay, so when Roscott was on the side, it says percent of families, so this is functioning off of percent. And the previous chart was the number of families, not the percent of families.
Right, so we got 38 is,
But do we need both?
I think you're right, you get to 100.
Do we need both? Do we need to know the number and the percent?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess we can have both, but,
Right.
it does, the numbers on the bottom of this don't match up with the numbers on the bottom of the one, previous one. Right, like she has the columns divvied up differently.
Less than 5, 10, 50 to 74, 75 to 99. She actually is consistent, it's the same. It's,
Is it?
yeah, it's the same numbers,
I thought she had the, like,
cause she's
Up
less
to-
than 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25.
yeah, this is less than 10, it starts with, rather than less than 5.
Yeah.
It just feels
Which
like,
is what we wanted, and
it feels like it's weird splitting hairs though. It's like, why such refinement of less than $50,000? And then it's just like, well, everything above that's just sort of, it's all together.
Yeah,
Alright, I'll have a conversation with her about that, that'll be great fun.
all right, keep going down.
Fine. But again, we need some,
where's the heading for that?
and maybe up on the other. Yes,
Oh, is that the other one
it
that,
rolls, well, a total household, she comes to a total. And then there should be, this is actually, they are two separate things, I mean, she sort of ends the thought here with total. And then this next one. Should have a title.
yeah,
Household income, that was good, needs a source. And then over here it needs, and she might say, well, it's right there, then I'll take it down below.
yeah, I think somewhere we need to put in a sentence about the difference between median and mean.
Yeah, no, I got that.
Because
Title.
it's cropping up again in this chart also. Where there's the median household and then there's the mean.
Right, and I think we're definitely gonna do that. Okay, so this,
Okay, this is for 2025, so
Yeah.
that's good.
what is this telling us? This poverty threat, oh, so this
These
is,
are, this
this
is,
is just a form. has
this is the
nothing to do-
federal poverty
has nothing to do with
guidelines
Plainfield.
to tell people what.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just, and
Yeah, so, but that's just a form.
So this is telling you what you have to.
what the federal standard is
qualify
for, yeah, to be
yeah,
considered.
poverty.
So it has nothing to do with Plainfield
No,
necessarily.
Unless,
Okay.
now this chart actually, I would expect shows where Plainfield falls in that.
Right, right here.
Right,
So we would, as you would expect, we'd have a small number here compared to,
But the paragraphs need to, because that looks like, what, 3, is that percent, or is that 30%, or?
Right, to
Is
write
that
that
3%?
paragraph, you're gonna need the data,
Yes,
right? Because you're gonna need
cause
to,
that looks like
you can't just interpret, you
3.3%.
can't just interpret the graph.
Yeah,
So you're gonna need,
it's not divvied up into tenths, so.
so here you're gonna need the data. Unless it's right here. Is it right underneath and we just haven't gotten it down because we got a bunch of blind folks and have to go up down to 50%.
So apparently it's 3.8%. So the data's there.
Yeah.
So
For
to rewrite the paragraph, so that one, and you would have that already, so that's good,
That's fine.
okay. Let's keep cruising on along.
On this, we don't have the date. Oh, okay, there it is. Data from 2024.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
again, the paragraph up above. That's good, and you've got this as a Word doc, yes?
Yes, I think so.
I sent it to you last week, I think as a Word doc, so we do have the data there.
Kind of fast, again, it's kind of fascinating, because if you
Oh.
look at this,
Yeah,
no children under,
I'm
in
sorry.
the poverty line. But most of the people living below the poverty line are in their thirties and forties.
Yeah, so they just don't have any kids, which seems strange.
Yeah, doesn't that seem?
Well, the majority of.
Well, these are all
male-
the kids living in their parents' basement, they haven't had a chance.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Look at that, the 65 and over males, that's the high, well, no,
No.
53 is higher, okay. But
Are
those
there,
the
are there
two main categories.
53, 30-something males in the town, let alone living below poverty? I'm not even joking.
Yeah, I think they're 53.
I think.
I think they're more than
because
50, but I-
there's we've got a couple of thousand people living here, so,
Yeah, it's a little odd.
Yeah.
Just in terms of,
that age group.
it
in
makes
the
me feel
poverty
great
group.
that there are no kids living in poverty. But it
Yeah,
makes,
but I know that's not true. That can't be true. I mean, I know of three, I mean, the ones living up in Manette's trailers or campers. If that's not poverty, I don't know what is, and there's kids there. So I know that there's at least a couple.
So can we move through this one?
yes, yeah, I know.
So this has got a date, 5-year estimate,
And it's got its source.
so that's not so bad.
We need to make sure that at some point we document the actual name of that agency rather than just the initials.
Hey, it's American Community Survey.
Yeah,
ACS
so we'll
is
have to make
American
sure
Community
towards the
Service.
beginning of the chapter that it's.
Yeah.
That's what ACS.
Can you
is.
blow that up a little bit?
Of course I can.
Employment by industry. Hmm. This is interesting. It's transportation.
Right. Healthcare, I mean, there's the biggie.
Sure. What's the arts, entertainment, recreation? And food, that's kind of that's a funny cluster.
Yeah,
Another self-employment, where's
That's, it's the
self-employment?
discretionary income category.
Where's self-employment?
We don't exist in this town.
Other,
Self-employed, yeah, it must be under others.
Look at
Self-employed.
waste
people.
management. It's, that seems very specific.
right,
Professional, scientific, management, administrative, and waste management.
So the Casella guys and the PhDs in the medical school are all in the same.
You know,
I'll ask her about that, that'd be
Okay.
kind of fun to see why is it like that?
Why, well, she didn't make the grouping, it's. Commuting, that's not, it's commuting,
yeah.
the spelling is wrong at the top.
Yeah, couldn't be more right.
Okay, we can't, you know, we'll have to take their word for it.
So, okay,
Hold on.
but. Okay, when you look at it from an employment status, I guess it makes sense, but. It's one of those cross graphs.
Trying to find where I was there. Where was my commute?
You must be going down,
It's the next one, there it is.
yeah.
Commuting, yeah. And we can't argue with that because we don't have any idea.
Right? Why would we
We'll
want-
assume it's
Where did
correct.
that information come from?
There's some kind of glitch where it says work from home. The letter F is like a question mark.
Yep, yeah.
That's a telling number though. Look at that.
Right, although it may be changing a little bit the other way now.
Well, I know, but I'm still,
Yeah.
even at one point in time.
Yeah.
If you had. Basically like 20% of the workforce working from home.
Yeah,
That's,
that's a lot. Is there, is there documentation of where that information comes from?
I'm sure it's gotta come from the regional planning.
I would expect so, but we're not,
Right,
Right.
but each,
If
it
it's
shouldn't have a
listed.
source, right? It
Right,
should-
right.
It should tell.
All right, let's see about regional economic trends. Moving right along,
there are none.
ranks.
You missed it. Everything happened.
Wait a second,
and
keep going,
just went
okay,
by.
all right.
These must be things she thinks we should address.
In the italics, maybe?
Yeah, will,
She
where is
did
the
a whole
growth?
thing in the front of the,
Where is the growth? Will it continue? Where is the housing? Well, okay, well, she put some of the cooperation stuff.
oh,
The per capita
it
wealth,
seems to me that if it's a regional economic trend, then that's a regional planning commission paragraph.
right,
And that, I'm assuming that the 85 is better, but it doesn't say whether a lower number is better or a higher number of better. Like if you rank 217 out of 261, does that mean that we're on the high side of property taxes or on the low side?
Hi,
Okay,
we,
so I'll.
we've
I'll
climbed, we used
correct
to be
that one.
181. The tax rate, of course, is. I'm not sure, of course, needs to be, the tax rate is impacted by the size of the tax base and the spending rates, I think that would be true. The 2025 full value rate is, we get rid of this, right, when we're
Yeah.
renting,
yeah,
we'll just get rid of that.
Get rid of which part?
the one that says
She
20,
gave us the new number. She
Okay.
could have just clipped that out and been done, but she didn't, it's okay.
But it would be good to show that so that everybody sees that, yes, your taxes actually did go down, your mill rate went down since 2010.
What is wealth per person? Tax base information, it's got that same question mark.
It's all the letter F's Plainfield, the F's wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we've got.
And what's DRA?
Department of
Department of
Revenue
Revenue.
Administration.
Okay,
Um. So the wealth per person,
I don't know what this means.
what?
Tax base
like-
equalization ratio, that's probably true. And then it says
Population.
population. Wealth per person, what does that mean?
there's no wealth in Plainfield.
Well, look at, no, but look at the, in 2010, it was $121, 121,000, now it's 388,000. That's a pretty big jump.
But what does
Or
that mean?
38.
What does wealth mean? It's not income. What does that, I mean, well,
Assets, I mean,
No, that's 38,810. It went from 121,000 down
to
to
38.
38,810.
well,
Cornish is above us, 41,230.
that can't be right. and I would question her about that,
So I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I would not
Well-
be able to write a paragraph about that graph.
Right,
Don't know what that means.
so you've got this whole F thing going on.
I don't understand how you calculate wealth. Are they including retirement plans and?
I don't know
You know,
how
property
Well, but the folks,
they
yeah,
don't have that information, but
That's what I'm saying. How
that
can
real
they-
estate, value of real estate,
Maybe,
and that,
plus their income.
I'll ask her what
Yeah.
that is, we'll
Okay.
find out. She said new goals and recommendations. But let's get the chapter updated first.
yeah,
Still got a fair amount of work to do there.
Yeah.
well, hopefully not that much.
Well,
At least,
she does, and then I'll get it over to you, Elise, once I get her
Okay.
to update. Let's just look at the housing one real quick, cause it's short, it's
Okay.
not long.
Okay.
I don't know, why didn't you do that?
Yeah. Is this her sending it back to us again?
Well, I don't think she's housing, this is the new one, yes?
yeah, so it's got the current survey results, at least that's something.
Okay, good. That is good. Housing stock. I think the answer would be, we're not opposed. I think regular numbers are better than Roman numerals
Yeah,
throughout, right? I think,
Yes.
Yes,
like cursive, Roman numerals are getting harder to find. So I'm gonna say no to that question. No objection.
blow it up a little bit.
Of course I can.
Okay, so this is. And,
This needs to be rewritten.
well, it needs to add the 2020 data, which she does include down there.
Right,
You gave her the number,
well, it's right there, built 2020 or later.
right, so we just need to,
We just need to rewrite this paragraph.
Right.
Based on this data. Okay,
Who kept track of when houses were built? Was-
Steve. 'cause
well, the town
The
report
building
has it.
The town
The
report.
town
has it.
report has building permit breakdown.
Even in like the 1940s?
Oh, I have no idea if that, who did that?
That
He
was,
wasn't around.
that was before Steve's
He
time.
wasn't around then.
Um,
And so we can put in the 2010 to 2020.
how come we haven't?
I don't know.
It's so inconsistently inconsistent. What the hell? We've given them that data.
Yeah.
Average from the home building permit per year. So here we need the 20,
20,
so it's 20 to 5, so 20,
10 to 2020, yeah, or you could,
11, but. Which she has. Well, we can give it to them yet again if we need to.
Had grass all over the place. There's like no
Right, well, it's-
trend.
right, and it's, you know, I mean, this is really where it is, 10 or 12 per year, right? That's kind of where we have said for years. It has, and this next one will be smaller because of COVID and the cost of building now. But here she does have the data.
right, but then the last sentence up there, residential data,
Up here,
yeah, go up, just go up a tad. Last sentence, residential growth tapered off between 1980
right, I
and
think she's showing
1990.
this as a whole paragraph that needs to be redone,
Okay,
right? And I'll work on this one, Elise, so you don't end up with two.
Okay,
with that,
well, I won't be able to start the other one until she does her whatever magic with it. With the economic one.
intended or switch to one, what does that mean?
Figures to tables. Okay, we'll put it in a table.
No, I think that it's the titles of these things.
Yeah, I think,
But I think it's okay, cause you, a table, that's a table, the
Yeah, it
graphs.
just
could
doesn't
be
have the,
figures.
it just
Right.
doesn't have the,
Right, but I think she's just saying that the previous things all were called figures, but they were figures because they were graphs.
Right.
okay,
So I think it is, her question, I think it is intended. Okay,
Okay.
to be a table. Right?
now should this be table one? I don't know.
Well, I mean,
Well, she labels the table 3.1, so.
Right, but is that because the previous, I don't know. Or is just chapter 3 housing?
so when. Like the ones that were set up with the columns and the rows, not the bars. But the ones with the columns and the rows, those were tables. And the information here is set up in rows and columns. So why would it not be separated with the lines the way the others were? Not set up as a graph with bars,
Right.
but with the outlining, I guess. Can you scroll up, Steve?
I can,
Please? Not these, the ones that are further up. Maybe there aren't any, none of the ones in housing are set up this way, but the
Okay.
ones that were in the economic ones, they were set up. In like an Excel sheet would be
Yeah.
set up.
yes,
So why isn't this data set up that way and is,
I'll ask her what she means and we'll just make it.
Okay,
Yeah.
consistent, make it consistent.
So that, we talked about that, that's where the Avatar parcel report will go, which will be a PDF,
Okay,
right? I mean, that's just something we can do.
that's what I'm talking about right there.
Right, and
okay,
is
so this is
there,
age of housing stock.
and is there any? Okay, so it may just be that it'll flow, so then you have this table.
Yeah,
This is all good,
yeah,
That's why I guess I'm just not understanding why she didn't put that other information in this.
format,
Hmm.
you know, the goddamn thing has changed. So that's okay, longer it compares the cost of living.
And where did that information come from?
Well, this is old, I mean, that would not. be-
No, I mean, in the table. Average persons per household.
That probably came from the census data.
But it should say that,
Okay,
And the others, I wasn't specifically looking on the tables further up, but I don't remember seeing. Citations to say where those were, where that information came from either.
alright, that's an easy one.
How come there's fewer households in 2020 than there was in 2010? Do we lose 60 houses?
yeah, we talked about that.
It wouldn't seem possible.
So where does this data come from? Question mark, data source. And let's just circle that so that it's clear. Like, how could it? It didn't go down.
Population could go down, but I think the buildings would hang around. Especially.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
65.
number of people in the
It's
houses.
that 2010 number that.
So this is all.
Unless we've got a bunch of abandoned houses in the town.
Which we don't, but then they still showed a lot of them, maybe as unoccupied, remember that?
Oh,
And
yeah,
they said that was houses that were for sale, that were rent, you know, but there still seemed like a wacko number to me.
Yeah. Do
Okay,
we not have a 2020 or closer number for that graph?
Well, she talks a lot about stuff right here.
And I guess I can see that, yeah, we can do the paragraph, the writing part, but I mean. She needs to do the graph. So she has the information.
Is this a table that has value to us? It probably does, and we need her to update it.
This one? Yeah,
Right.
do we care?
yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
I
the
would
next
think
one,
so.
the next one's gonna be, so the answer is yes, update. I don't think their heart's in this job.
Oh, yeah.
those are her comments in red,
Right.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
This can be seen as a counter to the number one recommendation. Or isn't. What?
I don't mind adding that language from her, that second sentence.
Watch out, this one?
Yeah, that, preserve rural character of Plainfield while encouraging a vibrant villages. And offer various housing types.
But is this a comment that she's making, or is
I think
it?
she's rewritten that.
She's
Yeah,
she's
I think she's
rewriting the
rewritten
goal,
She says, consider rewording,
yeah,
and then gives what she's suggesting.
Where are you seeing that? Consider rewording.
Right
Uh,
after number one recommendation
I think she,
on the
so
top
as
line.
it's written, it conflicts with our survey results,
Right.
and she's saying, consider rewriting the statement. And then she gives the example,
that state, that,
Ah,
and then she states this, presumably this new written one aligns with the survey question.
okay, so that we can do. Okay. Okay. All right, so let me get. And another version from her on these two, and then I'll get it to Lee's, and I'll try to get the housing one done, it's just a few pages,
And I'll work on the other one.
and you get the other one.
I will probably be taking a bit to do it though, because that kind of stuff fries my brain, so I'm gonna take it in little pieces.
And we will. Probably have this same meeting at our next meeting, because we haven't got any subdivisions for April.
okay, all right,
So, and we can go back and work on those other two chapters that
Yes.
have now come back from her.
yes,
I'm expecting that by the next meeting, anyone who has not gotten back to me as far as department heads are concerned is not motivated to get
Right,
back to me,
right.
because
you asked them,
yeah, I asked them by mid-May, which I meant the second meeting
right,
of the month, that, we want to wrap this up.
right.
So I've heard from,
Did you, yes, who'd you hear from?
I've heard from, Bruce Elder in the fire department.
Right,
I've heard from, Stephanie as far as the health and human services are concerned. I've heard from Eric as far as the police department's concerned. Stephanie gave, some ideas about the emergency management stuff too, and the health officer, because she's those things too.
right,
I have not heard back from, I sent it to Bev Widger too. For about the town halls, I thought she might wanna. And then, I sent it to Brad, but I'm gonna put a bug in, or
And
do you wanna put and Rich?
I'll see Brad tomorrow. Rich had some comments he was gonna share with you Wednesday night, but it didn't happen, so.
Okay,
All right,
and it's not like I expect a huge amount of information from them,
but,
but
no,
you
you just
know.
wanna be sure that
ultimately, I don't want anyone saying down the road, it's like,
No.
well, if you'd asked me. It's like,
Right,
well, we did.
Exactly, exactly.
You know, so.
All right, well,
Motion to
I
adjourn?
make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Yeah.